you're live. And hopefully that is working. Hopefully everyone can see. And hello and welcome to another episode of Disgustingly Resilient live, and the first of our plague surgery streams, which is obviously a new thing we're doing. It was good to see everyone in the chat, and look who's here again today. Welcome back, Death Guard Dave.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good to be back.
How are you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, just as we were having a little catch up beforehand. Yeah, combination of starting a new job and being given one of the grandfather's special brews, I think, is probably what happened. So, but yeah, no, I'm doing all right, and yeah, kind of everything's now kind of moved jobs, done all that stuff, got it all sorted out. That's things have calmed down a bit, so I'm glad to be back.
Just a little bit calmer. Still a bit
Yeah,
hectic,
yeah.
but I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to have you joining me on stream tonight too.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be good one. So, for those who don't know, the plague surgery is basically something new. We're starting to give more benefits to our members to sort of give them a reward for sort of, obviously supporting the channel. And in doing so, basically, it's kind of like a review my list kind of stream. So, people have posted up a lot of lists. Me and Dave are going to go through as many as we can. We're going to talk about them, what we like, what we don't like. Well, I'm not going to say we don't like. That sounds a bit mean, doesn't it? What we think's cool. And then, again, people, if you want to get involved, consider becoming a member. Scott Nagal, thank you so much for becoming a member, mate. Welcome to Plague Marine. So, again, if you want to now get involved in this, go and slam a list in there. And, yeah, the more information people can give us, the better. So if you can talk about like where your terrain is, where you play at, what kind of meta is, all these kind of things, it'll help us get more relevant information to you. That Sunday's member for 7 months. Try Pathetic Blight Halls at Goonham. They still don't work. Oh, sorry, Glasshammer. Well, we'll get onto that as a topic. But yeah, I mean, 10 points off's nice, but I kind of still feel the same way there.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything to mention before we get into this, Dave? Or would you want to jump straight in?
Don't know. We can jump straight back in. I think just the most important thing to make sure everyone understands is that the plague surgery is something good. The plague surgeon is still not.
Yes.
So just very clear differential. This is good. That's not. But
the plague surgeon has seen more use as a thumbnail rather than an actual model on the tabletop at this point. So just to clarify that for everyone, we call it the plague surgery because it's the only thing he's capable of doing. And Will's in the chat as well. Thanks, Will. No worries, man. We'll hopefully catch you on soon, mate. But yeah, let's jump into it. So we got our first one here from Gray. So I'm resubmitting Chunky Nurgle Soup with the new points. I'm usually on play stream, which is interesting because that's not something that we specifically play on too much, but with the WTC terrain play pieces. Lots of Space Marine players around me, all kinds of them, and a few Tyranids, then Tout, and smatterings of everything else. Okay, so it's an interesting list. We had a quick look at this before we kind of jumped in. It's a very, very interesting list. So first up, we have Big Man himself. We have Mr. Mortarian. I have some thoughts on him. I will have an event recap again later this week, which I'll probably go more into my thoughts on Morty there, but we'll talk about him in a second. We've got 2 units of Death Guard cultists, which, still cultists, still good. We've got a unit.
Jump past the Blight Lords.
Yes, we've got 5 Blight Lord Terminators there who came down to new point low levels of 155 points, which is kind of getting a bit absurd now. We have a Death Guard Hellbrute with twin heavy Plague Bolter and a Hellbrute Fist. 1, 2, 3 bloat drones, 2 of them rocking the flamers, 1 of them rocking the flesh mower, 2 single Pathetic Blight haulers, and then a whole lot of allies, 840 points of allies. So we have a Chaos Cerastus Knight Lancer, 2 units of Nurglings, a unit of Plague Bearers, and the big man himself, Rotigus. Chunky Nurgle Soup, this is indeed. So, Dave, initial reactions to this list?
So it's an interesting one because we, like you said, you hinted at there, we tend to look at these lists instinctually based on UKTC. So it's kind of it's a really interesting view to have on that. But then looking at player placed and where that's going to be, that totally changes the dynamic of your maps and how you're gonna play. I think it's got obviously a good core of Death Guard elements. I like the mix of Morty, the mowers and the drones for just speed and getting around the place, and then this big chunk of allies. Nurglings we could talk about it in a moment. Nurglings is an interesting one now, given that obviously Zero OC it stops us doing kind of action stuff in the new world and those bits. Yeah, but I mean, does still give you play for engage immediately and things like that, but it's pretty low points. So Yeah, interesting. Like the fact that Rodriguez is in there. I'm kind of coming around to being a fan of big robots at the minute a little bit. So it's and not that I'm going to be running a Chaos Knights army, but I like the fact there's there's a couple of really big set piece models in the list as well.
Yeah, this list here is rocking as well. We've got 3 toughness 12 models here as well, which
Yeah,
is quite intimidating if they're all coming at once. Um, I think this list actually has some play as a pressure list. Um,
yeah,
Mortarion and 3 bloat drones is a lot to run someone down with, backed up by the haulers. It's a lot, especially if the Cerastus Knight comes out to play at the same time. The issue is that I have currently with the list is that it feels like it's more of like a turn 2 all in pressure list because you can't really
yeah,
start Rotagus on the board. He's not fast enough to keep up with the rest of them. So you kind of got to wait for turn 2 when Rotagus can come down, whether it's Ingress or Deep Strike, and then you need to go out with Morty and the Knight at the same time because
same time. Yeah,
people will struggle to kill that, especially with bloat drones as well. People genuinely will struggle to kill all of that running at once. You've got 3 toughness 12 models. All of them have a 4-up invulnerable, which is very important. Um, Again, playing Morty this weekend, 4-up invulnerables when they spike on the right dice. So like, you don't really care if you make all your 4-ups versus like 1 damage shots, but when like, I had Morty bounce like 4 Lancer shots, which is like huge because then it's like they've just wasted all their anti-tank.
yeah,
So having that ability to then put pressure on people, obviously the Knight can now walk through walls, which is something that's
amazing.
really, really good. And it's not as much an issue because you're playing player placed anyway, which means you could actually set up your terrain in a way that you could
Yeah,
potentially set up for a turn 2 going. So you set up your terrain to have like first turn have spots for Mortarion, move up, and the Knight to move up and be safe and ready to jump out turn 2. Um, I think the thing that sticks out here as the thing I would probably change if anything is the Blight Lords, and it's not just because the meme is like, haha, Blight Lord's bad, but it's because the list has a lot of pressure with the bloat drones all coming forward, the Knight, Rotagus and thingy, and the Blight Lords just don't do anything. They just drop down.
yeah.
Um,
If you're playing, you've got to play. The other thing I'm looking at this list for is going. Where are you what are you gonna play the primary game on, and then move off of, and then what happens if you know, kind of, for example, if you're going to the blind or terminators, I can see as being just something to get onto a point and
True.
stick it at some point. So you maybe even you don't do you need to spend 155 points on doing that? Because I don't think they're not going to be moving around the board fast for you. They're not going to be, you know, the drones can get you places quicker. Even the blight haulers can get you there quicker. I agree with you. I think I'm not sure what their benefit is in the list.
Now I do like the cultists though. The cultists I think are pretty good. Cultists
Cultists
are
still
always
so
good.
solid. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like yeah, me and you play cultists all the time. Cultists are really good because
Yeah,
again,
I'm double cultist.
there is now more terrain as well where turn 1 sticky and objectives if you go first is
Mm.
possible as well due to the new deployments and setups. But again, like they're just versatile. You can either use them to just hold your backfield, spread them out as much as possible, or if you get first turn, you want to put like sometimes it's really good if you can get those first turn stickies or put these guys out in front. You can basically just be like, you now have to spend some amount of resources and expose resources to just kill 10 cultists, which is like
Mm.
50 points. And quite often, a lot of armies don't have like units that are as cheap as them to kill them, if that makes sense. So quite often I'll have cultists die for 50 points, like scoring scoring a couple points as they do it, maybe an action. They'll die, but they'll die to something like even if it's like a 90-point unit, that's still an uptrade of almost
Yeah,
double the value. Like I had 5 assault jumping SSS kill them, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll trade that. That's fine by me
sure.
because then they'll die. So they're really good for that. But also, there was games I had like again at the weekend where they never went forward, and all they did is hold home and screen at max coherency, and that's also still a really good job for them. So I genuinely don't think you ever have a bad time bringing cultists, and 50 points a squad is value. So like the cultists.
Yeah, I like big fan of those. I still think they're super important. The Hellbrute with I guess it's going for max chances to kind of get the contagion off, kind of on that front. I looking at this list, what it is missing if this is a concern in your meta or in your play is long range anti tank.
Yeah.
I would say is something in here. Yes, you can throw the knight forward to get into that. Like Aiden said at the beginning, you can run a pressure turn 2 move probably and chuck out 3 big things at the same time. Target saturate. and then something's getting through. But yeah, if you need to try and pop something from a distance or something that's exposed turn one, I don't think there's anything in this list that can reach it.
Yeah, and just quickly in chat, we've got Heretical Spartan, who you've already answered, how his list is made. Again, if you're a member, join the Discord. There's a channel in there. To join the Discord, if you become a YouTube channel member, in the community tab, there is a link in there for you to click that will help you join the Discord. So then we've got Bartek. Good morning, everyone. I'm new here and would like to join this disgusting journey. Welcome, Bartek. Welcome to the Death Guard. Another Plague Marine. Always welcome to the squad. The Plod Squad, as we call it. Ryan Blair. How you doing, Ryan, mate? I've not spoken to you in a while, man. Are we in a world where a 10-man Blight Lord squad is viable? Now, I'm going to hold that question because I believe one of the upcoming lists does have a 10-man Blight Lord brick, and we'll talk about it then just to sort of keep things moving. But it is a good question and it's a good topic. 5-mans, I think... They can do stuff like they're quite good for the actions that are required to survive through to an opponent's turn, which is quite nice. But at the same time, like them for themselves don't really do. I'd rather have 3 Death Shroud even without a character.
Yeah,
at least they can still hurt something, and they're a smaller footprint to fit in, and they're still relatively tough. But I agree with David. I think the Hellbrute. Usually, when you see a Hellbrute, it's usually paired with stuff like triple predators or like Plagueis Claws, something to put the long range down. Because if you tag a key unit with -1 like save, you can put like 6 las cannons into it. Even land raiders like Hellbrutes. Whereas this is a much more up close and personal list. Not to say that Hellbrute still wouldn't help, but if you look at the profiles you've got here, you've got a lot of flamers. Blight Halls are quite close range because of Melter.
Yep.
This entire list wants to be within 9, and if you're within 9, you're within Contagion anyway. So the Hellbrute's probably not doing too much for you, unless your intention is to ping something big with -weapon skill and ballistic skill. But when you play pressure list, you usually want to go -1 save, because the idea is to get in there and hit shit real hard to make your opponent basically have to react and panic, and then they lose control of the board, whilst your little gribblies like your cultists and stuff take over the board. Rotagus and the Cerastus Knight Lancer are an interesting one. I actually really like Rotagus for 230 points.
Okay.
He's pretty good, and having OC and movement can actually be really important. He's got a nice flamer. He's got a nice wacky stick, flat damage free weapon with a damage. I think he's got damage 2 sweep, yeah, because he adds one damage, doesn't he? Yeah, which is actually pretty interesting.
And he's tough.
He is. He's
got a lot of
vulnerable.
wounds.
Yeah, he's vulnerable to plink shots, lots of mass shots.
Yeah.
He's only got the 4-up invulnerable, but at the same time, there's a lot of things like that. You're okay to do that because you put him down because he has the ability to deep strike. If you deep strike him near the stuff that's just got like low quantity, high quality shots, these 4 invulnerable can bounce a lot. And again, we're running 3 toughness 12 models here that are all running 4-up invulnerables. That's a lot to try and deal with in one turn. So I like Rotagus, and at 230 points, he's ridiculously cheap. So Rotagus, I'm pretty good. And again, if you're playing player placed, Rotagus is not as bad of an issue. UKTC moving him rounds usually the big issue with Rotagus, but not so much an issue on player placed. What do you think of the Knight Lancer, Dave?
So it's an interesting one. I like it. The 4-up is very nice from the invuln perspective. And with the ability to move through buildings now, and obviously going to get tank shocked on a 1 is really interesting. I though think I would probably still take a rampager, just because you get more attacks, you get more options in your attacks in terms of sweep, strike. There's still loads of damage in both the formats. I mean, you got a flat 8, a flat 6, and then a 3 and a 2, depending on which profiles you choose. It's cheaper. Yes, it's only got the 5-up. But it does give you the once per game advance and charge.
True.
And you get sustained 1 on the charge. I think personally the Rampage has got more options into tagging. You tag a couple of things, you smash 2 vehicles to pieces. You go into 2 kind of units of elite 3 up, 3 wound or even 4 wounded for shielded terminators. You can pick up those units. I think that's kind of my only thing about it. It's a really cool model, and it's got a lot. Don't get me wrong, it can really hurt. It's got a flat 8 lance damage weapon, but I think for the points differential, I'd probably then give myself an option to drop something else in.
That's what I'm just checking now, because it's 420 for the Lancer. So you get 40 spare points from there. So if you get 40 spare points from going down to a Rampage, now again, that would take you more away from the 4-up invulnerable skew. So it's a decision. But the 40 points there, combined with potentially 35 swapping Blight Lords to something like Death Shroud,
Yeah, or 90 points to drop in 5 plague marines. You
Yeah,
could knock. You
even
could give
some.
yourself. You could give yourself 65 more points, and I would also drop some. I'd also drop probably at least one of the nurglings.
Yeah, and then you
Um,
got a lot more there. And I'd probably you could. I would. I think one unit of Nurglings is still great because Nurglings are great for blocking scout moves and stuff like that. But if you'd make all those changes there, you're getting like 150 extra points.
you get a predator destructor or a predator annihilator.
Yeah, or if you're finding scoring to be an issue, then you can just fill in some more chaff. I ran Chaos Spawn; they're pretty good actually at the moment. I was quite impressed actually about Chaos Spawn, but even another unit of Cultists were pretty good. And again, probably the Hellbrute. Maybe just look at maybe swapping that out for something that's even more pressure. Or so like personally, I would probably go drop the Blight Lords, drop the Hellbrute, swap them both for a unit of Death Shroud, a big one, and then use the spare points from like the Nurgling drop and still what we've got left over from these two, to try and get a character in for that unit. Because then again, if we think about that big turn when we go for it, we're going to have like a 4-up Rotigus, a 4-up Invulnerable. Again, we're playing for the turn 2 because of Rotigus' speed. You know, 4-up Rotigus, 4-up Mortarion, a potential knight with a 4-up or a 5-up. But again, if you go the 5-up, it's faster as well. It'll get better charges. And then you've got a huge unit of 6 Death Shroud that are also rocking that 2-up, 4-up, all coming in on the same turn. And that's going to be really hard for someone to deal with. And a lot of people are just going to break under that pressure. So that could be a cool way of taking this list. But as it stands right now, I still like it. There's a few changes I would make to it, which is mainly just focusing on that pressure element or skewing to your invuln save. And change a couple of units. But overall, I still think it'll be a fine list. Yeah, and I think it'll do really well for you, man. So,
And the other thing I'd say at the moment, right, we're now in another stage where we've just got a load of new missions. We've just got a load of new adjusted secondaries. Everything's up in the air again. But so it's great to see a list like this, which is like trying a different combination of stuff. So yeah, as we go through all of these, take that as a flat consideration from us that it's great for everyone to try different stuff out there and then share it back into the community.
Yeah, experimenting doesn't just help you. If you share your findings, like Thingy did before, someone saying that Datsun, is it? Yeah, Datsun saying he tried effect blight holes, glass hammer, it didn't work for him. That's still valuable information. Doesn't mean that they're bad necessarily. Just means they didn't work for him. But again, if we have 10 people try them, 9 come back saying they had a bad experience, we can kind of start to see that maybe MBH is not the greatest thing. Lyco, Heretical Span, thank you so much for becoming a member, mate. Massively appreciate it. Welcome. And like us, so if you want to join the Discord, on our YouTube channel homepage, there'll be a community tab at the top. If you go on that community tab and you might have to scroll down a few posts, you'll see a Discord link invite. You click that and it'll add you to the Discord. And I will, if you're still struggling, I'll put up a fresh post after this stream with a fresh Discord link for you to join. Dan Johnson, let's say thank you for doing Nurgle's work. Oh, fucking hell, $30, man. Jesus Christ, thank you so much, man. Massively appreciated. I'm immensely appreciative of the videos, effort, and help you provide to noobs like me. You're not a noob, you're just learning, that's all. I've improved using lessons for the channel. Hope you get to my all-term surgery. Oh, don't worry, I want to get to that one. That was a good one. So, on that topic, and yeah, thank you so much, Dan. But we'll keep going ahead then. So let's go to the next one. But yeah, thank you so much for submitting that. Great. It's a really cool list, and I really want to know how you get on with that Nurgle chunky soup. So next up, we got Troll and Ius. Look at me becoming a filthy Don purist, joining the German meta. Battle line bonuses, tank shock, and pivot is nice for brigands. Okay, so automatically we know this list is shit because it's running brigands. I'm only messing with you, Troll. So we got Typhus again. Typhus.
Will should have been here for this one.
Yeah, Will should have been here first. Wardog Will.
Wardog Will.
Typhus, amazing still, super good. Yeah, you can always run Typhus. Always happy times. But a Biology Speechfighter, Foul Blight Spawn, and a Tallyman. Now, I've seen Tallymans popping up a lot more. A lot of people really liking Tallymans at the moment. We have a large brick of 10 Plague Marines with all the bells and whistles. 2 squads of 5-man Plague Marines.
It's shooty, right?
Is it? Mixture. So we got guns and...
Plague Spear, Melter Gun,
and we're still rocking the 5 heavy Plague Weapons. So it's the balanced loadout. It's the
nice.
Tackle, which I like. This is my personal favourite one.
Yeah.
We've got a squad with bubonic weapons, and then another squad with heavy plague weapons as well. But they're both the 5-man squads there. We have a unit of Death Guard cultists, which is really nice. Oh, 2 units of them. Sorry, again, really good. So we've got a lot of mission play here. We've got 2 squads of 5-mans, 2 10-man cultists. Still got a big 10-man there. So a lot of good mission play there. 2 Predator Destructors with the Plague Combi Bolter and gone for their Plague Heavy Bolters. Interesting. Nice. 3 Death Guard Rhinos, obviously to ferry all those squads around. Though I will say, how come 3? When we've got... Do you just want to put...
What? Is that 10? Is that
It's a
so
10 and
five?
two fives.
So 10 in one, what, 5 in each of the
Oh
others?
wait, no,
Because
no, no, no. It's two of each of these loadouts. So actually, it's a full. There's 4 5-man squads.
90. So there's, yes, 2 times 90, 2 times 90.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
and 1
30
times
plague
10.
marines actually. Yes.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
so that's cool. So 3 rounds now makes sense to ferry them all around. We've got a
Yep.
Beast of Nurgle, which again is also doing like a really good standing job for Nurglings
Mhm.
at the moment. It's a shame he is like almost double the points, but he still is very good and he's a lot tougher to kill.
Mhm.
And if he doesn't die, obviously he regenerates all his wounds, which is really nice, and he can do actions, which is very important. And then obviously the triple War Dog Brigands. Um, so this is quite interesting. So it's a lot of battle line. We've got 2 predator structures there, and then we've also got some brigands in the play. So, Dave, do you want to take away your first impressions of this list?
Yeah. This again looks like quite a like mission. It's quite a mission heavy playing list. Good to see the destructors. Obviously, the anti tank is going to be inside the brigs. I agree with the Beast and Nurgle is an interesting one. I think one of my big things I looking at the new mission packs is, and certainly from the UKTC layout is, if we're on the what was the old Dawn of War new adjusted version. Uh, I don't know how it's looking in the rest of the world. So guys, please do tell us. But I think there's an increasing view on how do you screen. I think screening out is going to be an increasing concern going into the new kind of layout, given that that map seems to be, well, certainly from a UKDC perspective, is on a lot of the maps.
Yeah.
I like the. I mean, the if your opponent's got longer range shooting than you do in terms of vehicles, then the brigands have got to come forward a bit to get there. I think what 30 range, 34 inch range.
24 on the thermal spear.
Okay, so yeah, they're going to need to come forward. You don't have. There's no las
Okay.
cannons. Yeah, there's no las
I'm
cannons
gonna
sat
check
in the
that.
list, so you're going to have to come forward with those. Predator destructors are great. Once again, long range, 36 on the plague heavy bolters, 48 on the autocannon.
24. Yeah,
And
they are 24.
yeah,
Brigands.
so once again, no long range anti tank here. Now, once again, that it could depend on your meta whether that's something that affects you guys or not. Um, but I agree with Foul Blight Spawn and Bilo just in with the big brick.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
if you
I think
are
that's
going to
still
invest
a
in 10 man, you have to put in at least, at minimum, the biology putrefier.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, definitely. And I think I actually think going that balanced mix of the if you're going to put them both in, then definitely go for the heavy plague weapon bit, get your lethals and fives.
Yeah,
I
when
like
you're
that too.
investing 300 points in a unit, you need it to be activating in more than just one phase. I see a lot of people just take, 5 heavy plague weapons, 5 blight weapons, and no guns, and then like there's so many opportunities when that unit like could just like pick up a unit, or, like you run into a rhino and they just have to stare at it and
Yeah,
wait for someone else to crack it, or they charge it, crack it, and then what's inside charges them or shoots them. And it's
yeah.
like if you would have just brought the 2 melter guns, there's a real good chance you actually pop that rhino
You pop the
open.
rhino. Yeah, yeah, definitely. They're definitely a good mix in there. Yeah, like you said, Beast of Nurgle, good for dropping somewhere and just to absorb some punishment. 3 Nurgle swarms here, interestingly. So, yeah, if Nurglings are a constant feature in some of these lists, be interested to hear from the guys what they're whether they're rating Nurglings differently given the changes. Because I've certainly looked at them differently, and in fact, in the list I'm running tomorrow, I don't have any Nurglings in my list for the first time in a very long time.
I didn't run it in my event either. It's a very strange feeling.
It's really weird.
It is. It's definitely weird. But they are still good for like blocking out infiltrators and stuff like
Yes, they
that,
are. Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
is
definitely.
still good. So what I do think
What
to
about
this
you, mate?
list is personally, I just don't like plague heavy bolters. I'm not sure what it is. Now they're better on destructors because they get around the AP1 by going to AP2,
Yeah,
but every time I've like ran heavy bolters on these things, I just kind of wish I had las cannons just to kind of shoot up tanks. But at the same time, as you are saying, we do have Shulbringer in this list, and that's not something I normally have access to because I don't play knights. And
no,
that melter obviously does really hurt. One thing we also have to remember is, although the range of the brigands is not as great, boards are looking a lot denser now. UKTC, GW, they're all very dense, so getting
yeah,
into 24 might actually not be a downside. It's another reason I actually think entropy's got like a side buff because of the new terrain, because getting entropy cannons in range is actually not as big of a concern, because it's very rare you're actually going to be shooting at over like 36 most of the time. 24 is probably going to be quite enough. So actually that might not be as big an issue. And again, if this is just wanting to pick up, if you just want to fully commit the Predator Destructors to killing infantry, there's nothing wrong with that, because they will do it. They will mince infantry quite nicely.
Definitely.
You still get lethal hits, which does help out. And again, you do have three massive.
And you get sustained.
You do, yeah. I think this is going to be a list which is... Another reason I like the Predators actually being in this list is if you have someone that kind of wants, like, just... You could be put in a position where people are going to try and force you to expose your Brigands, and being able to instead just pop out your Predators and shoot it instead from a much safer range is going to be nicer than being forced to put in a Brigand in. And it also means you can potentially put Brigands in strat reserve without fear of being like, okay, I'm just going to run you down now because your Brigands are in strat reserve, because you've still got your Predators to fall back on. And obviously no one wants to run a 10-man Plague Marine squad because it will kill most things. Obviously Typhus is in here still, great choice. If you can fit 80 points in a list, I would 100% recommend Typhus every time. Dropping in, doing actions, even just solo, don't need Terminators with him. Dropping in, doing actions, doing some mortal wounds, and if you live after that, bonus. And a lot of times he does live, because you just got to give your opponent more pressing things to deal with. Like, again, they'll want to be killing your Brigands, they'll be killing your Plague Marines. They're not too worried about silly little Typhus in a corner, but at the same time, they do also need to worry about silly little Typhus in a corner, because he will keep throwing out mind bullets, and then when eventually he does make a charge, it actually starts to hurt. But yeah, overall, I think this is quite a cool list. A lot of mission play. I think this will score really well. It's also got a lot of denial. You've got 4 or 5-man Plague Marines to just fling out and deny primary, which is really nice. And the thing is, if they want to react to kill your Plague Marines, you can have it so that like, the Brigands are in a position to respond. Which is...
Or your Rhinos could cover the points that the Marines are on. So if they come through cover to get to you, then you could wipe them out in return.
Yeah, and I mean, look how much action Monkeys has got. You've got Beast and Nurgle doing actions. You got the Rhino, 3 whole Rhinos that can just run around doing actions. 5-man's, obviously, you want to try and be doing more than just actions as Plague Marines, but 5-man doing it, fine and dandy. You got 2 squads of Cultists to do move, blocking, early pressure, and also screen, really important. I would always have 2 10-man units or something in the current meta, just so you don't get ran down by World Eaters, or at least bring Nurglings to stop a scout move. So I think overall it's a cool list. I do want to see how the Knights play out, but again, the good thing is all this being able to put pressure out, put trading out. You're not gonna have too many issues spreading contagion, because you're gonna be flinging out a lot of MSU units everywhere, so you should have contagion in most places you need it. But I definitely think this is a list that would make good use of making use of strategic reserve as well. I definitely think you would want to put Predator in there, or at least one of your Brigands, and just always be threatening, like a cheeky rapid ingress move, shoot something with a melter, or even just coming out from the side and shooting something.
And I think also there's a making sure that you can. The good thing is you've got the Marines inside Rhinos, but you do have 3 Rhinos. You have got 2 Predators, and you have got some Brigands. So making sure that you can hide stuff sufficiently turn 1 is also definitely worth considering. That you might want to put something in reserve to facilitate that.
Yeah, so overall, I think it's the coolest. I think it'll do pretty well. I do want to know how people get on with Brigands, even though I will never run them myself. It's my own personal challenge. But I do want to see if Brigands are going to make the comeback, because for a while we all kind of like moved away from the Brigands. And now I wonder if the Brigands are going to come back in, so it'll be quite interesting to see. But thank you for submitting your list, Troll and Ius, and best luck with it. Obviously, we forgot to mention he clearly had 10 points left in his list because he took the drone in. And no way he took that on purpose.
That's the only way. That's the only time you take it.
He's 100% got 10 points left. Thank you.
And just to jump back to your point, you said was I think also taking the Taliman is a very legitimate choice. If you're, I assume you might he might be running him inside one of the 5s potentially, but equally I would say there's no harm in him just sitting at home behind your big cover, just on his own, trying to generate your CP.
Yeah, and me and Dave have stressed before the importance of don't make a list. I mean, obviously make a list with it in mind, but don't go into games automatically going, this character always goes there. Like, change it up. If they don't have any indirect, they don't have any way to get to him, no 3-inch deep strikes, Tallyman can easily sit on his home at the own and just generate CP. If they do, feel free to put him with a squad.
And remember, indirects just become harder for everybody.
Yes.
So then a bit to what Eden was saying earlier about if someone's going to try and take out one of your cultist units, well, it's now harder, even if they have got indirect, to take out your cultist unit. And if they're going to then try and take out one model and then in your backfield, and I think as I talked about ages ago, the likelihood is as well is once you've put him down and put him down first, right, during deployment, they're going to forget he's there.
I did that against my opponent's ethereal. He had an ethereal just holding his home, and he was like two turns in. He's like, "Why have you not shot my ethereal?" I was like, "There's an ethereal."
Exactly.
Instantly shot him the next turn and killed him. I 100% would have forgot. Ian McCall, thank you so much. Sorry, I was just going to say, thank you so much for coming to Plague Marine, Ian McCall. He says, thanks, been watching since the start of the channel. Feel like I owe something. Appreciate it, mate. You don't owe us anything. We just enjoy doing this, but I do appreciate the support, mate, and thank you and welcome to becoming a Plague Marine. So yeah, on to the next list. Let's go ahead. So Buck, I don't want to do this one because he's a disciple of Carl, which is the turtle that ruins my life. But again, we'll do it. We'll do it for Carl. So we got the Death Guard Blighted Legion. Oh, you like your named lists, don't you? You like the ones with the proper names. So 1995 points. So couldn't find those 5 points anywhere. If I see the drone in there, I'm very upset because that could have been a deadly pathogen.
Absolutely, it could be so good.
Yeah. So we got one. Oh God, we're going whole hog here. We're still full sending it. Triple Biologist Putrefier. Triple Foul Blight. Is that triple 180? Oh my God, it's 30 Plague Marines.
Nice.
Triple Rhino.
And are they all melee? Yeah,
they are.
Super melee. Love it.
Oh God, he's gone full melee. Yeah, he's full sending this bad boy. Okay. Yeah, triple Rhino, and then we've got Annihilator, one Annihilator, 2 Destructors.
Yeah.
3. Oh my God, it just keeps going. 3 Bloat Drones.
You should call this list 3x3.
This list should be called the three of the 3, and then one Blight Hollow, and 3 Nurglings again. Okay. So, fucking hell. Okay. So this is a lot of 3 huge, scary bricks of Plague Marines here. Now, I'm instantly going to say, when you're running this many Plague Marines, I definitely want you to put some guns in these squads. I think they would massively benefit, even if it's just 2 melter guns. Again, you don't want to run into a scenario where you run into a Rhino and you're having to spend a 300-point unit to crack a Rhino. They wouldn't be too bad if you had easier ways to get angles, but your Predators are really like... If they go aggressive and get angles with the Plague Marines, but I still think you might want to bring in some guns in there, because I'll be honest, if you charge something with 4 robotics, 5 plague weapons, you're probably going to overkill it by quite a lot. Most of the time, I managed to kill pretty much anything I touch with just the heavy plague weapons. Now I don't mind the black weapons. I think they are good, but I just think maybe if you could just try and get like 2 melter guns in there just to help crack transport should be pretty good. Or just double up on the flame, get another flamer in, because again it gives you board control, and like controlling the board's really good. I
mean, I can see they might be sending potentially a drone and a Rhino to a point, perhaps, to give them that kind of Overwatch protection from the drone, or
they are all flamer drones. Yes, true.
Yeah, to put that on there, and then. But I still agree with you. I'd still put 2 melter guns into each of those units, because then even your Rhino from firing deck can become something that can crack another Rhino or hurt another vehicle. But yeah, I think it feels really interesting. It feels like you could go. Once again, depending on what mission you're playing and whether you need to hold 3 or you're trying to, is you can always match up a Rhino with a load of Marines with a drone that can also move to give you extra OC, and cover that with some anti-tank from the backfield, because you've got long range anti-tank all over the place.
Yeah. Well, am I missing something? Just because the list's called Morty Pressure List, but I can't see a Morty.
Yeah.
Maybe just called that by accident.
He's trying to trick us. That's all.
He's just trying to trick his butt. Git, probably Carl set him up to it. But yeah, I like, so it's a lot of pressure, because like bloat drones plus like triple Rhino running down, especially on the new boards, having a lot of good staging positions. That's quite nice. The triple Nurgle again is the question though.
Yeah. If anyone's in the chat who's got your list in here, like tell us what you think about why you've got Nurglings. It's the second list that's got lots of Nurgling units in it.
Yeah, because I mean, the instant change for me would be to drop the Nurglings and just take like cultists instead.
I dropped the Blight Hauler as well.
Yeah, I think the one Blight Hauler, I get the reason for it, because it's another 90-point damage that can run up. But I reckon, because I mean, how much points would you free up there? 190 plus what? 120 there. That's 210 points. So that can get you quite a bit actually for 210 points. You could go. What could you get?
For 120, you can put a 3-man Death Shroud unit in, which you can then deep strike, which is something this list doesn't have a lot of else to do.
Yeah.
And in fact, how many did you say? 220.
210, unfortunately. I was going to say, yeah.
Okay, well that's fine. So you run 120 plus Lord of Contagion for 200 points.
Yeah, it's not
And
too
actually,
bad.
then you've got a deep strike
That
mini
is a
bomb
scary
just
unit.
drop in somewhere because you've got so much. You've got board control, you've got long range shooting, you've got anti tank in here, you've got fast moving drones, you've got rhinos. Actually, then a deep strike unit that could land in the kind of what was the old Dawn of War style, into an objective or behind a wall or something that's got full rerolls to hit is a
Yeah.
nice little surprise.
Datsun making a good point. You could drop 2 Nurglings for a Beast, which is also a good shout because another deep strikey action unit. My issue here with this list, the biggest issue I have is holding your home. Are you just going to leave it down to your Predators? Because if
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
that, they do it, but the problem with doing that is you're really limiting the angles your Predators can get because they have to stick around home, so nothing can just deep strike on it and take it.
Yeah.
I think even just like 10 Poxwalkers, just a single squad of 10 Poxwalkers to just sit on home. And the reason I say Poxwalker, not Cultists, is because if they're going to be solely dedicated to sit on home and you're not asked about trying to make use of the scout because that is their dedicated person in the list, then having the fight for all the pain is going to be better for you than the scout move that you're probably not going to need because a lot of this is going forward anyway. I don't think you need more forward pressure. Definitely think you could do some to hold home. So yeah, I think you could swap these Nurglings out for quite a bit. Keep one squad potentially if you're really worried about infiltrators and scouts. And obviously, minus one to hit are still quite cute and useful, which is nice. But I definitely think you can at minimum get rid of 2 squads and then also get rid of like the Blight Hauler probably. And that at minimum frees up 170 points. So there you go. There's 3 Death Shroud that can go with Typhus because at least he's got some bodyguards then. Again, but you might want the solo Typhus. There's no Typhus actually.
No, there
Ooh,
isn't.
yeah, there's no Typhus.
The other option. Dylan in chat asked, are the battle line missions relevant enough to justify Nurglings? They are, but some of the things they give you benefits for are things like after falling back or advancing, that you can still do an action. But if you've got an OC0 unit, it can't do actions anyway.
Yeah, or like shooting action. They don't have guns, so it's like
Yeah.
they gain very little from it. The probably the best thing they gain is like a 3 heroic. Because then you get them involved in weird contagion-y nonsense that you shouldn't be able to get involved in potentially. But at the same time, it's kind of niche to bring them for that reason. I think if you're looking at bringing allies to make use of battle line effects, like you could look at Plague Bearers for a better choice. But I think like Plague Marines are still like the go-to battle line choice for us.
100 points for 10.
110 points, I think, is
for,
for Plague Bearers.
for Plague Bearers versus 5 for 90 Plague Marines, but you get melter guns and plasma guns and.
Yeah, but to be fair, the Plague Bearers do get the +1 on the charge as well, which is quite nice for coming from deep strike to an 8-inch charge. But yeah, overall, this list, I like the pressure. I think it's going to be a lot of people. Again, I think Pariah Nexus really, because I've played 5 games of it now, 3 of them in the tournament, 2 just casually. Pariah Nexus really does want you to sort of like put aggression on the table. It really rewards, especially the new terrain layouts as well. So having the ability to shove 30 Plague Marines forwards, always fights first, or by those Putrefires, is going to be really nice. Back that up with the bloat drones is going to be good. I just think the list's going to have a little bit of trouble stopping armies that could potentially reserve a lot and then come in behind you. So you get caught in a weird no man's land in the middle where they're at the back and the front of you. So just having like a unit of Poxwalkers to screen out home, maybe 2, just something like that, just to sort of stop stuff appearing where you don't want it and making sure your home is safe whilst you apply pressure forward. But overall, I think it's a decent list. I think it's going to still have play. You got 6 las cannons there, so you're gonna be able to pop any tanks that try and give you a problem. Especially one's a big las cannon, so you got 7 actually, because it's an annihilator. So yeah, I don't think the hauler's needed for like the 1 multi-melter it's gonna get you.
No.
I would just put the melter guns in the squads. Then you can drop the hauler and change that with 2 of the units of Nurglings for, like we said, either somewhat deep strikey like Terminators, Beast and Nurgle if you want some more deep strikey, and definitely something to hold home. But overall, cool list. I'd like to see how it goes because this is a kind of a classic staple, is the old 30 Plague Marine list. So I'd like to know how you crack on with that one. So it should be quite cool.
If you're playing mind games with your opponent by calling it multi pressure list, then carry on.
Yeah, you're just trying to bully me that way. Then yeah, carry on. But thank you so much, Buck. Appreciate it, mate.
Thanks, man.
So Magin Bay. So tried to make an aggressive list work for a pretty competitive region, Nova region in the US. Looking for ways to make this list pretty competitive in a meta heavy area. Okay. So we've got Balance Putrefire with the droning, so we had someone had 10 points spare. We've got a Foul Blight Spawn. We've got Lord of Contagion with Deadly Pathogen, which I do like.
I've got Plague Boss, clearly.
Plague Boss. We've got Mortarian as well, and Typhus. So quite character heavy here on points wise, which is not something I'm not unused to playing. I play like 600 points in characters every game. Then we've got the 10-man, the Plague Bus 5-mans, 2 Rhinos, 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators, so nice MSU play there. We've got 2 fetid bloat drones, 3 plated bloat drones, single Plague Bus crawler, and a unit of nurglings. So, instant reaction is I'm a little scared of just being outdone at long range anti-tank. We have a Plague Bus crawler, a single one, which is... They're okay. They are good. I don't think you take one. I think you try to lean on that 2-up save, toughness 10 a lot. And you take 2 or 3. 1, I'm not sure, unless its job is to hold home.
Hold home with spitters, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, again, then I'd probably swap it for the spitters there. I like the pressure list idea because you've got 2 Rhinos, you've got Mortarion, you've got triple bloat drone, which is a lot of pressure because him just running around with 3 bloat drones is a lot. You have a turn 2 drop to keep applying the pressure with Death Shroud Terminators, with Lord of Contagion and Typhus, which is what I was doing at the weekend. And if people really don't like the fact that they have to be constantly aware of where these squads can pop up. And to be honest, I think the Death Shroud MSU threat actually works better with more Plague Bus crawls because I kept having guys try to like screen off like the backs of the boards with like 5-man void minute arm and I just kill them every turn. I'm like, yeah, go put something else back there now. And then, like, if it's something like you're having to spend like I had a bloat drone having to like sit back there, so it's like 90 points. That's just, what are you doing, dog? You can't come. What? Where did this come from? Hello, hi stream. This is the Kirby.
He's here.
Hello, bud. What's going on? Yeah, I know your mum's not home. I know she's working late. Yeah. Hello. Good boy. Come on, back on your chair. Back on your chair. Good boy. Oh, sorry about that. Someone was desperate for some attention. But yeah, I still think I like the 5-man Plague Marine squads because the ability to like fling them out of the Plague Bus is really nice. Plague Bus I've had a lot of play with, coming from rapid ingress and stuff like that with it is really good. How does Morty fit in this list? Because this basically is the list that I was running, but Morty's been swapped out for the 2 other Plague Bus crawls, pretty much. Okay. So would I rather have the 2 Plague Bus crawls in my old list or Mortarion?
And you were running, so those, and if you were running 2 of those, what would you put? Would you put entropes on them because you're playing them a bit more aggressively now?
Yeah, so you got a lot of flamers on your, because you got a lot of flamers in your squads all here. I still used to leave 1 at home with the spitters on. But I was running 2 of them with entropy cannons. But now, obviously, if you're trying to go a multi-pressure list, I think you can still make it work because you can... something I kept regularly doing was I would have Morty with like triple bloat drone go down one flank, and then you could send like the Plague Bus crawls with him, and then you send like your 10-man Rhino up the other. So this one you could obviously send, keep the bloat drones with Morty and the Plague Bus crawler, and then put Plague Bus and the other 10 Marines on the other side, and it just puts your opponent in like this awful position where it's like, do I concede one flank to Morty and co, or do I concede one flank to the Plague Bus and co? And quite often, weirdly, people prioritize the Morty, which is the wrong choice because Plague Bus and 10 Plague Marines hit way harder than Morty ever will.
Yeah, and he's got so many layers of defense that you can often that can go nowhere.
Yeah, so I actually think this could work. I'd be interested to see how it works with Mortarion stopped out for the PBCs. But again, if you set it up to have a really nasty turn 2 where you have a unit of Death Shroud ingress or just drop in, and then you go in with like Morty and all the bloat drones whilst also dropping out either the Plague Bus or the 10-man, and then you save the second Rhino, the second Death Shroud drop for like the follow-up turn. I think that could be a lot of pressure to put on someone and be really nice and actually hold them in. I like the fact that we've still got one unit of Nurglings because again they can come in useful. They still score some secondaries and they do stop scouts, infiltrates, which are becoming more prevalent because nobody... The one good thing I've noticed about bloat drones and Morty is someone tried to wall me in and I just flew up. I was like, yeah, bye. I was like, I have fly, by the way. I was like, don't worry, stop the Plague Bus calls, but the fact I didn't stop my entire army, and my bloat drones could still get out there and be scoring and doing stuff. It's quite nice to get fighting against those jail kind of lists because jail lists are kind of becoming a bit more annoying at the moment.
Yeah, full-base shooting charge is really great with the drones as well.
Yes, really. Still really good. Sad you can't action anymore, but it's still really, really good, especially with the new tank shock. Tank shock on bloat drones is actually great now. Consistently doing 3 to 4 mortal wounds is really nice with them. So, super happy with bloat drone tank shock. What do you think? I think it's a pretty safe list. I think it's a pretty good list. Again, Plague Bus it's also just turn fun Plague Bus. I think this. Go on.
No, I was just going to say I kind of agree with you. I'd if you're going to put the plague best crawler in there, I'd swap it for spitters and have it guard my home. I think, and then like you said, whack Morty and drones along one flank, get the Marines going down the other. Got some melter guns in there. You got a couple of 5-mans. The plague bus is ready to rock. Could come on from reserve quite nicely. And you've got some Death Shroud in there for a bit of MSU Death Shroud.
The one good thing about the MSU Death Shroud is, and Eltra, I'll just put it in chat as well. He's enjoying running MSU. He tried 3 times for him. He liked it. One with Lord of Contagion, which did really well for him. The good thing about having MSU Death Shroud rather than one is, in this instance, in this kind of list, if you're going 2 flanks, you're sending one big, Martin's Co down the one, Plague Bus down the other. When one flank either breaks through or starts to hit a bit of trouble, you can either reinforce the one that's troubling, or the one that's broke through, you just double down on, and then dig real deep into like your opponent's home objective and stuff like that. And or because you've got 2 3-man instead of 1 6-man, you can also, if both are happening, you can drop both in the same turn and double up and both reinforce and help. Whereas like 1 6-man, you're kind of committing to one flank at that point. So not that 6-man's bad. 6-man's still great. Overwatch off that thing is still stupid. But it's the advantage of MSU over a 6-man. So I do like this list though. I think it's very close to what I used to run, but with Mortarion in there, who I think might become more relevant in the meta coming up. I think we might see Morty coming back to play. A lot of things don't want to fight Morty at the moment. But I'd be interested to see how it goes. And I think the only change I'd really make is, like Dave said, swap this guy to Plague Spitters. The thing is, you've already not got range anti-tank. 2 entropy cannons just isn't going to make the difference. You might as well just commit to having your home safe and then getting up and close and personal.
And that's a totally valid play style. You can go for, right, I'm going to get into the long range duels and take out the tank stuff, or you can go, actually, we're going to play some more kind of melee close range stuff, and you're going to just go, if you want to come this side of the wall, then that's fine. But I'm going to be harder to hit, and certainly talking from a UKTC perspective side, it's going to be a lot easier to play that style of game now. Like, I think if you play into it and you tech into playing non-long range shooting with people, you can now do it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. So just a quick reminder for everyone watching in the chat, if you are enjoying the content, we will have to, again, chill out because YouTube needs us to chill out. Please do leave a like, subscribe if you are not subscribed. I'm going to have some, look, like 90% of our viewers aren't subscribed, which is a lie. But still, I'm going to say it. So yeah, feel free to do leave a like and a subscribe, and again, engaging in chat, it all helps. So I appreciate you all being here. And if you could just scroll down for 1 second and click that little thumbs up button, we'd massively appreciate it.
And if you want your list reviewed in things like this, then go to the actual product, our actual channel page, join. In that, you get access to the Discord, and then you can make us talk nonsense about your list too.
Definitely, yeah. So if you are interested in getting your own in there, do consider becoming a Plague Marine. So next up, we've got Lord Fester, who is again rocking a 1995 list. So we got a Biology Putrefier rocking Living Plague, so the increased contagion aura range, which is quite nice. Mm-hmm. We have a Lord of Contagion with Deadly Pathogen. Really like that guy at the moment, having a lot of fun with him. We've got a single Malignant Plaguecaster, which is still good. Like, even just one is good. You don't have to have both. It's still a really nasty flamer, and still got the utility of minus move, minus to wound in melee, which is really nice. Big old Mortarion himself there. Again, I'm really liking him at the moment. Typhus, great. Again, always useful to have. We've got 10-man Plague Marine, 10-man Plague Marine. Again, mixed loadouts, like to see that. Happy with that. We've got a Rhino. And we've got another Rhino? Just the one? Okay, just the one Rhino. Just the one Rhino. Okay, interesting. 5 Blight Lord Terminators. We got 3 Death Shroud Terminators. A Fetid Bloodrunner with a Heavy Blight Launcher, another one with a Heavy Blight Launcher, a single Plague Bus Crawler, another 2 Plague Bus Crawlers, and then a large unit of 20 Poxwalkers there. So, what do you think? So, a very quick clean chat. No step on Sneck. Shameless money for attention message. Please review my list before you call it a day. Okay, no, you've bribed me well, Sneck. I will make sure to check yours out, mate. Thank you for the bribe. And again, if we do not get around to it today, don't worry. This is I'm hopefully trying to make this a weekly thing. So the most you'll be making is a week, and I'll be back to it, and we'll pick it up from there. And again, the more weeks that go on, we'll obviously see the meta evolve more, and we get more talking and more in depth. Like, well, because again, we're all brand new at the moment to this meta. It's very different. So I definitely think you need a second Rhino. I'll say that straight up. You, especially 10 mans that are rocking characters attached, they are too much of an investment to walk, and a walking marine is a dead marine. Especially when you just move 5 and have no ability to advance and do stuff. So I definitely think you're going to need at least another Rhino in here. Hi Nat, you're alright. You're alright, T. Sorry, Mrs. just got home. You okay? No worries. Tired, I bet. So, yeah, we've got our 2 10 man, so I definitely want to try and find another Rhino in here at some point. We've got 5 Blightlord Terminators again. I just don't like 5-man Blightlord Terminators.
Yeah, and it's a 10-man has got such a footprint. You're not gonna deep strike that into a deployment zone. So, and your opponent's never going to assume you're going to either. So it's easy for them to make assumptions about what they need to. Yes, you can drop that 10-man into the mid board, but I would much prefer to do that with a 6-man Death Shroud than a 10-man Blightlord. And a 10-man Blightlord is a very big point sink to hold an objective.
No, I think they'll do it well. The reason
they would.
The reason a 10-man works as well is because of the space it can take up on objective. The problem with 5-mans is, unless you space it perfectly, as soon as like a guy dies, you can get out OC'd by like 2 guardsmen touching the point.
Easy. Yeah.
Like, so they don't even hold points well. Yeah, you 5 OC. A guy touches the point, and it's like, cool, you've lost the objective. Even though like
two custodies out OC.
Yeah, a lot of vehicles will just touch it now. Like, especially when you start taking losses, you'll lose 2 models. You got 3 OC. Cool, I'll put a bloat drone next to you. I took it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to kill Blightlords to take them out of the game. And if they're not holding an objective, they're not doing damage. They're not doing anything. They're just existing. That's what a 10-man at least has a purpose, because you can actually just block out an objective and be like, yeah, you have to kill me or you're never getting back on this objective. So I like them better as that. But I've tried the 5-man. I tried it with a sorcerer to go maximum durability. Just be like, this squad is going to come in and do actions, because a lot of actions now require me to, survive to the opponent's turn. Do you know what is better than trying to make a unit that's really durable to survive to the opponent's turn? Shoving something in their face that says, you will deal with me and leave my action unit alone, or I will kill you. And because, again, even if they do and go kill the action unit, which they might do, then you just have free roam with whatever's going to kill them. And then you pick up, you punish your opponent super hard, just to make sure you put your opponent in positions where, if they want to interact with your actioning unit, you can punish that interaction way harder. And again, a lot of times, if you want durable stuff to do it, bloat drones are just great for it. They're 65 points cheaper. They are higher toughness. They got a decent invuln still. They're much faster to get around. And they also have the self-defense of flamers if infantry want to try and come and stop them. A lot of people, weirdly, the flamers I do feel are feared more than they should be. But a lot of people just don't want to get Overwatch. The second you say 2d6 anti-infantry 2 plus AP2 against cover.
What they kind of forget, though, is it's single damage.
Yeah, but again, that's sometimes all you need. Imagine you're on a point doing an action, and then a immolator pulls up and 5 sisters get out with retributors with multi-melters. They don't want to go near a bloat drone.
Because no, they don't.
Even if you only get 4 wounds through and they fail 3 saves, cool, they just lost half their output. They don't want to do it, and there's always the chance you bang the double 6 and just wipe the squad. Whereas Blightlords, again, they just don't have the same effect. People just aren't scared of them. So I think with Blightlords, I think it is a case of go big or go home. And they're definitely not worth trying to max the durability, because I did that. I had them come down, I'm going to hold this point, got the sorcerer, going to -1 damage. 1 guy died in the squad, and then 2 intercessors from Dark Angels with +1 OC jumped on it and were like, cool, my point. I was like,
And I think also you can, as your opponent can if you decided to put, you've also got to really commit to sticking them somewhere where they can do something afterwards. Because if you sit 10 of them on a point that's on a flank, it can get ignored.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, cool, you have that, and there's your 310 point blob sat there doing nothing, and it's too slow to go anywhere else, even if you move off of it.
Yeah, and I would rather have 3 Death Shrouds, because even though you get less guys, they actually are scary.
Yeah,
People,
they'll flame you. They'll mess you up in
yeah,
combat. They're
people
like,
have to respect Death Shroud. You don't have to respect Death. You don't have to respect Blight Lords.
you don't have to. No.
I could park a PVC next to a Blight Lord's gun and just be like, yeah, sure, hit me, whatever, don't care. Whereas like I can't go and park that thing up to like next to like 3 Death Shroud and a lot of Contagion because they will kill it. They will 100% kill it. But again, so yeah, just to quote, someone did say at the bottom, this is most of what the fella does own. He says he would love suggestions on what to change. So if you could change anything, and again, if this is your collection, don't like go bin it, don't go sell it. All these things change all the time. The Blight Lords could be great again back when we get codex and whatnot. So, but if we were to suggest changes to make, my suggestion would probably be to try and swap the Blight Lords out, maybe for another unit of Death Shroud Terminators. You've got 2 PBCs. I quite like that with Mortarion. This is actually quite close to what I ran, actually. It's really, really close, actually. The Poxwalkers I might split up into 2 10-mans just to give you more screening at home, more like ability to do actions and things like that.
Yeah, I would just say on that so I'm actually on some of the, especially on like the search and destroy quarter to quarter kind of deployment. I'm going to be running it tomorrow. Actually, I'm running a 20 with Typhus attached to it to deploy right on one of those edges, right against the wall, with a move in an advance can get you actually onto the kind of that kind of bottom right kind of objective, and actually shifting off 20 of those and then covering that unit with something like a predator or something is I think is a really good idea, and actually gives your opponent something quite serious to try and chew through. And it's a tougher thing to get through than people think it is, especially if you with its 5 up. I agree with you. If you're gonna have a unit to sit on your home, 10 play Poxwalkers over Cultists is definitely a better choice. But I would say that playing with 20 Poxwalkers and Typhus as a unit to kind of push onto a nearest objective is actually kind of fun.
Yeah. I think the main thing is, if we were to look at this list and you wanted a direct, if you wanted, the first thing I'd tell you that if whether you get some money, you can go get a new model, because there's not much changes made here. I like the loadouts. The loadouts are really good. The characters are really good. Like everything is fine in that regard. The only thing I would say to you is the first thing, if I was to say you buy for anything, is a second Rhino. 100% you need that second Rhino. And I would use the points of the Blight Lords to swap it out. Get the Rhino in there. That's going to leave you with, I'll take 75 points, obviously, to leave you with 80 points.
80, yeah.
You could then potentially even drop a...
take the Poxwalkers down to a 10, use them in your home, and then you've got another Death Shroud MSU unit.
That would be... So with 2 purchases there, you make this list a lot better. So Chaos Rhino, Death Shroud, or, again, if you want to try and save money... you could, for example, maybe drop one of your enhancements over here. Drop the Blight Lords, as we said before. And I think with the putting in the Rhino, I think you can just about maybe drop for 10 Poxwalkers and get another bloat drone, which are quite cheap to pick up on eBay, something like that.
Or pick up, or go and find also very cheap on eBay or Troll Drone, depending on where you are in the world. Get some cultists.
Cultists would be very good.
Just get a 10-man cultist unit, and then you've got a scout move. You've got you've got an action monkey group. That would be another good 50 points to spend in this list.
That would be awesome. But yeah, but thank you so much for submitting the list. I hope these suggestions help you sort of like guide where to go. But honestly, it's looking really strong. You've got a really good core there. It's just one or two units, as well. And definitely need that second rat. It's the most before you buy anything.
Yeah, get the Rhino.
Rhino's going to be very important for your Lord Festival. Thank you so much, mate. Massively appreciate it. One gifted sub from Laser Chicken. Thank you so much, Laser Chicken. Congratulations to Dan Pezza, who won that one. And thank you so much to Taj for becoming a Plague Marine as well. Welcome so much to the Plod Squad. Massively appreciate the support. Happy to have you here. So we got, I own 20 Blight Lords and love the models. I use them from time to time. Sometimes they're not a disappointment. Yeah, Dave definitely has 30. I have 10. I technically I have 13 because I got the Lord Felfius's cohort. I love the models. I think they're awesome. I used to run like 10 all the time last edition. I really enjoyed the big break. I just think this edition is not their time just yet. Hopefully Codex comes along, gives them a bit of a rework. Again, you know what? Even just OC2 would make the world of difference.
OC2 would change it up. Yeah.
OC2 would make them instantly good. Like smack
I would
down.
love to run. Yeah, I just love to run my first company list that I was running in 9th again, which was all Terminators. I would love to see that in the Codex.
Maybe we get an attachment, which is all units with the Terminator key would get like +1 OC. That would be amazing. That would be crazy good. This idea is of 20 poxwalkers spreading out max and home to prevent more or less any deep strike in my own deployment zone. They got they do have an enormous
They do.
footprint.
You
They
can.
really do.
There's a good and a bad thing with that. I've done it before, so yes, you can stretch the width of the board and cover your home objective. What it can get in the way of is putting things like tanks down or other big base models. It can start making it a bit trickier to kind of get those out. Yes, you could put them right at the back and then make some moves and then shift them forwards. But to get the maximum kind of deep strike protection coverage off them, you need them a few inches off the back as well, and not just in a straight line. And if they are in a line straight away, we talked about indirect being a bit weaker at the moment, but you do guarantee line of sight onto those models, onto those units for them to start taking hits.
We've got Christopher Latta coming in, Strongboy coming in, a 5k dollars. Holds up sign, will spread plague for food. I will feed you, my child. You can spread the plague for us and we will feed you gladly. Thank you so much for supporting. Just checking this message quick over here. Yeah, no problem, mate. Right, so we'll go on to Austin now. So my list pre-data slate is now 2,015 points. Would like to hear your take on how you would change this list while keeping the same core of Morty, Plague plus 10 Plague Marines, and get this list legal with some updates to tailor to play prior next missions. My goal is to use a similar archetype in the league I'm currently in. I play mostly tactical, we play mostly GWR player plays terrain. Assume I have access to every model and unit out there except a big knight. So, when you say would like to take how to keep this legal,
You mean 2,000 points?
Is this 2,000 points?
So my other question was going to be can we assume there are no enhancements in this list?
I'm going to assume there's no enhancements. Is this 2,000 points?
So more. Let's look quick.
2015 points. There you go. See
Yeah,
now.
it was before that. Yeah.
So
Pre-data slate. So what's gone? What's gone up in the previous list?
It would just be the biologist and the blight spawn that went up here. Probably
yeah.
those 10 points. Yeah, it would have been 1995 before.
Okay.
So you got one unit of nurglings there, 5 flame marines. So what do we drop to make this work?
2 rhinos, 10 and a 5. The simple one is drop the nurglings.
Yeah, that's where my head's at.
That's the most obvious.
I think we drop the nurglings because the thing is, although yes, the nurglings now won't let you stop scout moves and stuff like that. And again, you play in a meta where a lot of those armies are using that. Maybe keep the nurglings, drop a cultist unit, or something like that. But
That's your only other. Yeah, you can't drop anything else because you'd lose the functionality of any other unit in this. You have to lose one of an entire something else.
Yeah.
If you don't lose the nurglings.
So this was the list that this is very close to the list that I was running pre-thingy, but I have a big 10-man, a big 6-man Death Shroud, and I ran into the same issues with it. I can only cut the name. That's the only thing I do to make the change to it. I think you cut the Nurglings. I honestly do, because again, if you come across armies like World Eaters, you still have 2 10-man cultists, so you've still got a big screen there, which they can smash into, and that's fine. Again, if he wants to trade 8-bound and shit for cultists, happy days. You've got enough guns there to fight back. You've got Plague Bust, you've got 2 Predator Destructors, those flat 3 damage autocans are going to do the work. So the Nurglings there aren't the worst. I think the one good thing Nurglings do at the moment is really help on the Terraform mission to stop your opponent getting really quick Terraforms off. But again, are we going to bring a unit just for that singular mission? Maybe if you check your mission pack and it's in there, but you're not always replaying that mission. So I think that's the easiest change, Austin, is to just cut the Nurglings for now, see how it plays, see how much you end up missing this infiltrate, and then let us know. And then maybe it's not as bad. Maybe like, oh, okay, I barely missed him anyway. Because there were some games I just didn't need Nurglings.
Yeah.
Even for actually deep strike, I'm gonna be like, I don't really need them to. I've already got units that I need. I can do it.
I also think if you're not going to run, if you're not going to run 2 to 3 of them, which I don't see being the thing to do now anyway, then you're going to stop a scout move, or you are going to stop a kind of deploy somewhere, but there's a load of other places this stuff can come out, so you're only stopping so much.
Yeah. Dan Pez in the chat saying, can we do this again Sunday? We will see. We shall see. Because obviously there's quite a lot to get through, because this first one, so there's a lot to go. So if we don't get through them all tonight, I might, even if Dave can't make it, I can do one on my Todd on Sunday. I'll see if we can do that for you.
I can probably join for a Sunday one as well.
Okay, cool. So yeah, general Kenobi chance kind of on there. You could drop the Nurglings and one drone for Desha Terminators potentially. That would be a decent choice as well. But I think the initial thing I would do is just drop the Nurglings, play the list, see how it feels, and then
It's the easiest. We've talked about this before, where when you're running lists, make small changes.
yes,
Don't just rip up the whole thing and then just start again. You don't learn anything from that. I get what you're saying, Kenobi, about dropping Morty there, but I would play. Morty's a much bigger piece to take out of the mix with everything that he brings to the table versus what the Nurglings do. So drop the Nurglings, play it a few times, then try that at a later date if you want to.
yeah, I agree. That's cool. User Gunner. Let's have a look. User Gunner. So we've got Biology Putrefire, Foul Blight Spawn, Lord of Contagion, Plague Boss,
Plague
Typhus.
Boss.
Really nice. Really love this set of characters. Really solid. 10-man Plague Marines to go with the FPS Foul Blight Spawn. Single 5 Marines, which I'm actually fine with. Like, you don't have to take 2 5-mans in a Plague Bus. 1 5-man's enough. You can even just take the Plague Bus, which is the casters. I like the 5-man because it gives it that extra utility. But don't feel forced to take 2 5-mans. 1 5-man can often be enough utility for it. 2 Rhinos, obviously, to spot. Unit of Cultists here. Always good to include at least 1 unit of Cultists. Happy with that. 1, 2 Predator Destructors. Really good. Really good. Nothing wrong with that. Bit of las cannons again helps you. That long range anti-tank means your opponents can't deploy in the open completely safe. They do have to respect you a bit, which is nice. An MS unit of Desha Terminators, again, always great. I'm going to guess it's going to go to a lot of Contagion with Deadly Pathogen. That unit slaps so goddamn hard, it can up trade real good. I had it wipe out, 10 Death Company and a Chaplain in one activation. I don't care that they fought on Death and killed me as well. I'm like, cool, I'll just trade 200 points for 350. Win. Yeah, exactly. 1 5-minute play was open so many more options for Strat Reserve. Exactly. Can you come in, Strat Reserve, then you can get out, move, charge something while the Plague Busters are things. No worries, diff. All sorts of good stuff. 2 Bloat Drones, again, really, really good units there to just sort of like fly around, do stuff, do actions, threaten Overwatch. Great thing to do with Bloat Drones is just sit on the opposite side of the wall. Hey, it's the Night Despoiler. I'm going to make you bigger for the stream to see. 1 second, Dave. There you go. Hold it up. Hold up. Oh, he's playing his headphone. I've just made you bigger on the stream, Dave. Hold up the night again.
Oh, hold on. Oh, God.
How can you even grab him? I don't even know.
It's so difficult.
Look at this beauty.
Yeah, I might need to turn the blur off. I'll do it in a second.
Look how cool that is.
So I am a huge fan of this of the Despoiler with the double battle cannons. I think it's a ridiculously good option. So yeah, please see someone drop that in.
Yeah, I just saw it and I was against the wall. I was sitting like, I'm liking this. This is nice. It's got a Plague Bus. It's got a 10-man. It's pretty good. It's got some Predators. It's got some Bloat Drones. And there's the big deal right at the bottom there. The Night Despoiler with dual battle cannon. Dave, do you want to really quickly go through why this thing is really good at the moment?
So the battle cannons are 72-inch range, and in half range, you get double the attacks. So it's like it's just and it's blast. It's like it's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's 4d6 plus 12 attacks in half range, and they're strength 10. It's only AP1, but all you've got to do is be near it with a Death Guard unit, and it's AP2 into that target, into that unit if it's being debilitated. That can take someone's toughness down. So if you're going into a Redemptor or something that's T10 and you've got a Death Guard unit near it, it's suddenly T9. It's suddenly you're winning on 3s. It's flat 3.
It's absolute weight of fire as well.
And then you've got you can actually run. You've got 3 Dabless Heavy Stubbers, which are rapid 3 in half range as well. So that 9 turns into 18, and the Ruin Spear is strength 8 and D6 damage. I think it is.
Yep.
So
3 shots as well.
It's an absolute monster. This thing. I played that in a list fairly recently, and I basically just sat it in the middle of my deployment zone. It was with the kind of diagonals deployment, and just sat it behind a wall, cover, and didn't move it for 2 turns. And my opponent was I was playing Thousand Suns, and my opponent was just like, well, what do I like? Where do I put anything? And I was like, because just with the lanes of it, and then in turn 3, I just stepped it out and just annihilated Magnus with it. This thing was just sat there as a menace. It was like a proper distraction kind of effect. But look, in the list, it's exactly what you can use it for. You can sit it back. You've got a beast of nurgle there to drop in. You've got fast moving drones. You've got some dash round, plague bars, fast moving rhinos. I think this thing is a really interesting addition to a list. I know we're trying to be puristy, but I like it. I'm keen to know if this is where this list is playing. Does it say? Is it a
I'll have a check for you now, mate. Let me see if it's playing.
is it a US list?
No,
Or is
but
it
it just says this list is the real deal. Initial games have been very one-sided, and I can see why.
I can see why. Yeah.
The ability to just basically, especially because you can just step through walls now as well, and you can just like basically just obliterate stuff. It's pretty daft. So you can keep it safe behind a wall, walk through the wall now when you need it,
and then just
blast anything away. And again, the real reason is the battle cannon's biggest problem was its AP, but again with Death Guard, the ability to reduce saves. It's massive, and that's what allows the weight of fire to just like.
And weight of dice is just like 4d6 plus 12 at 36 inches at flat 3 each. With blast is just obscene. Like this thing is, it can just plow through stuff on weight of fire.
And you've got 18 little shitty shots to shoot like cultists and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about like the being like, oh no, I might roll a 1 when I walk it through a building and it gets battle shot. Like who cares? You can't put any strats on it anyway.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
We're going to do a command point and reroll a fucking battle cannon shot. Who cares?
And was you saying that it has got a really strange ability in that you can reroll 1 hit wind or hit wind.
You don't need it anyway.
I've got 4d6 plus 12 and I can reroll 1 of them.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And don't forget though, you are also rocking still a toughness 12 tank shock on top of that. So in a pinch, you can on average dump out 4 mortal wounds, which is very good to have. So I really want to see how this list goes. I'm super tempted to run this thing myself because it just looks really fun. But I will stay pure. I will let Dave do the testing on this one. So do us proud. I really like this list. I don't actually think there's much I'd change in it right now. I think this is looking really strong.
I would definitely just run this and have fun with it. I think it's I think it's
I
a good
agree.
list.
I think
it's very similar to one I've written.
Yeah, I like everything in this list. I think it's really, really cool. Typhus in there, a lot of contagions in there to help slap. You start at 10 man, you got a plague bus, it's really fun. Got a little death shroud squad to go a lot of contagion. Start a unit of nurglings. Fine with that. Really, really good list. I think if you wanted to, if you had a knight but you didn't want to invest in demons, I think I'd just swap out the demons for another bloat drone. 70 plus the 40 bloat drone, then find 20 points on like living plague or something.
Yeah, agreed.
Really nice. So and then we got, really like that user Gunner. Let us know how that goes, mate. It looks really good. So we've got Rook here, and then I'll do no step on Sneck, and then you probably have to get going, don't you, Dave? Just because of you still.
Yeah, should we do 2 more?
Yeah, we'll do 2 more. We'll do Rook, and we'll do no mistake. But I'll check how many we've got. If we do have a lot, we will do one on Sunday, guys, because I don't want to keep waiting for too long. Especially if people have just joined tonight and put it up, obviously you're probably a bit excited. So to get it done. So I will see if I can do one on Sunday. I've got an event recap to do as well, so I'll either do that tomorrow or Saturdays. So it's gonna be a busy weekend. I want to try an aggressive multi-pressure list with what I've got. I would love to hear how you played it or how it would work, how you play it, how it would work. So check out the event recap. Definitely that's gonna find that interesting because I did run a sort of aggressive multi list there. So that's gonna be quite good for you. So do check that out. So we got. I haven't tried it out yet. Hopefully next week, if players don't work with it, then with a third Rhino and 2 more 5-man Marines. So Morty, Typhus, a lot of contagion with 3 Death Shroud and Deadly Pathogen. I really like this unit. I know I keep saying it every time I see it, but I keep playing it, and it's so good. It just hits way harder than it should. It has no right to hit as hard as it does. Flat 3 damage on a character is just, it's something special about it. Especially if you put Typhus in another squad, you've got 2 squads rocking 2 characters with flat 3 damage, which is not that common in the game. It's quite rare. No. People do not expect flat 3 damage.
Especially when he's got deadly pathogen on him, like he has here, and he's got plus 1 attack, plus 1 strength. He's only
AP 3 because of our thing. Get up to AP 4. You spend a command point. It is grim.
And if you're in range of an infected objective marker, it goes up more.
Yeah, strength 10, 7 attacks. Okay, sure thing. So we got Bio Putrefier with 10 man in a Bio / Putrefier. I'm gonna guess that means Bio / Blight spawn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. A 10 man in a Rhino, Plague Bus and 2 5-mans, 2 Spitter Plague Drones and a Mo Drone. Nurglings and 2 5-man Blighted for actions. Again, you know what we're gonna say here. I just think you would do better with the Blight Lord swapped out for different things. However, if you are running with what you've got, which is what you're saying it has,
Yeah.
Um, let's have a look at the pressure effect of it. The I don't think you play this as a straight pressure list because it's not enough to just run someone down with. I think you place like a turn two pressure list again. Turn one pressure list needs stuff like carnival allies, triple like bloat drones. Like you just need to run people down. Um,
Yeah.
the problem with this one is rhinos actually don't do a great job at pressure listing because they just shoot the rhinos and then the guys are on foot, and you don't really want to expose your rhinos. Rhinos are better at staging. That's what rhinos are really good for. And if you're going to have aggressive rhinos, you need stuff like carnival, like really scary melee stuff to run up there and take the hits for them, because they really need to shoot them before they get there. But that being said, if this is what you have got, I don't think it's bad. I think you will do fine with it. Again, it all depends on context of where you play as well. If this is like a local club, I think it'll be 100% fine. I think most lists are actually fine at local club level. I don't think you can actually go too wrong with Death Guard at the moment. Would you consolidate the Blight Lords? Would be my question.
What, put two into 110 man?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got two. What are they? 155 points each, so you can deep strike both, which is what you're going to have to do to get them on the table. Even a 10, you're going to need to deep strike it.
You could put the Lord of Contagion with 10 man because that
You
actually
could.
gives it some damage.
Yeah,
50,
you
50
could.
attacks, real and everything, fishing for lethals lets you at least threaten things, and he's in there to provide some big hitters himself. Like him having the 6 attacks at flat 3 actually makes it kind of scary. And then you can still put Typhus with like the Death
And
Shroud.
yeah. I think you need to put something with the dash out to get the benefit of
Yeah,
the.
you want the bonuses. You want the -1 to
You
wound.
want the -1, yeah, and then with Typhus the -1 to hit as
Yeah,
well.
which actually is quite good. I had that happen a week, and I was like, you know what? Actually, this is pretty good.
It's
So
pretty savage.
he's not always worth running solo. He's good solo, but sometimes you just gotta put him in a squad. Uh, I think that's
And
the initial change I'd make.
yeah, I mean, there's no anti-tank here, so you need to
Yes.
play if you're playing against anything that's got. The good thing is you're not running lots of tanks as well, but you've got to protect your rhinos. Like Aiden said, they could just your opponent could deploy just to try and pop those quick. You do probably need to set them up so that they are protected definitely turn one, and then either you can jump out the 8 kind of with the plague marines, or there are places where you can put them so that they are in cover, and then if you deploy them so they're like, if you're looking top down on the board, they're 3 inches kind of 3 inches wide, so you can just come out 3, then you can move 9,
Yeah.
and then you can advance them into a piece of cover, but just don't start them in the open.
Yeah.
You can get them out from behind cover and still get them into a point. I would look at that. And if you're playing something that's got lots and lots of firepower with this list, then you're gonna want to play more defensively and play this side of the wall.
Yeah. The biggest thing when you don't bring, and this is why even when PBCs, I still have to bring some entry cannons. Why I like Predators as well for it. If you don't bring any long range anti tank, your opponent doesn't have to respect you. And they can deploy in positions where they can get aggressive angles on you early because they don't care if you get first turn. Bringing even 2 to 4 last cannons will make most opponents actually think about deploying behind terrain.
Yeah.
And when your opponent deploys behind terrain, you're losing about like 6 to 5 inches of movement, which will stop them getting those nasty angles on you. It's like I played a game as Votan who have like scout move and then move and shoot, and my opponent had no long range guns, and oh my god, that poor bastard. Because I didn't have to respect anything. Deployed in the line, I was like, cool, I have scout, and I have like a 12-inch move, and each one of them is packing a sustained D3 hits last cannon. And I got first turn, and I just drove off the line with my 6-inch scout, moved 12, got the most horrific angles, and popped like half his army turn 1. It was grim. So bringing some form of long range anti-tank does start happening. Now, it doesn't mean you can't play, as Dave said. You can just have to play, as he said, more defensively minded. Play it safe, move from cover to cover, and you're basically trying to set up staging positions where it's hard for the opponent to contest mid-board, but getting there safely is the most important thing.
Yeah,
and then having you go turn.
Yeah, I mean, you could drop both the 5-man Blight Lords and put 2 Predators in, and then you've still got which gives you guns and to support.
And you've got
You've
50
got
points
trade-
for some
and
cultists.
exactly. Then you've got your scout move to get onto a point and infect it turn 1. You can then cover that with your guns that are longer range from that, and then you've got 4 or 2 las cannons, you've got anti-infantry weapons, you've got the autocannons. And the other thing I'd say, I know we've talked about it before. When the autocannons are actually quite capable of messing up a lot of units in this game. Even something that's a bit harder, a bit tougher. If you need to finish it off the flat 3 damage, actually, when 2 or 3 of those get through in half range, you've got 6 shots. It's very, very useful.
So Rookie's in the chat and he's just said, I knew this list definitely was not a great list, especially for competitive. Just wanted thoughts for the new mission packs. Honestly, after playing it, it's not as bad as you think. In my initial video, 100% I see you need a lot of actions, and you do need a lot of actions, but a lot of the time, people are more concerned about the threat in the face than the thing that's doing the action, and that's what's important. So, and you'd be surprised, like you actually look at your list, you've still got 2 spitter drones there that could do actions. You've got 2 rhinos that can do actions. You've got 5-man plague marines that can do actions. I think you're actually okay for your actions there, mate. I wouldn't worry too much. So I think I'd just consolidate the Blight Lords into a big squad. Lord of Contagion in there. Now that's actually a unit that's going to actually have some impact on the game.
And just play to get that into the midfield somewhere.
Yes.
And then that's going to be their territory.
Yeah, so I definitely think you can still do some work with this. And Dovidas, thank you so much for coming to Playground. Dave just said it in the chat there. Welcome to the Plod Squad, mate. Massive appreciate it. Again, check the community tab for a link to the Discord. I'll put a fresh one up after the stream as well. But yeah, welcome to Discord. Again, we'll have a giveaway up as well soon, and you can join the Discord and get your list submitted like this. If people like what they're seeing, remember to like the stream. Leave a comment, whatnot, and also, again, if you really, really like it, do also consider becoming a
By the way, there are definitely enough lists for a Sunday.
Is there definitely? Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay, it's nice to know people are enjoying this, though. I'm glad to know that. So we'll do one last one, which is I've been bribed to do No Step on Snake. So we remember we are at Lord Fester. So we'll go for this one here when we come back to next week. So, Sneck, where are you at, bud? Let's go find Sneck, because he did bribe me with a $5. No Step on Snake. There you are, mate. So my LGS plays on GW terrain. Armies like Tau, Orcs, to CSM and SM, and the most popular armies. I have 5 games on Priaxis and desperately wanted more speed and action monkeys, so the 3 units will spawn. Okay. So we've got Typhus, BioP, Foul Blight Spawn, Lord of Contagion, 10-man Plague Marine Squad, some cultists, 2 units of Shoot Terminators,
Plague Marines,
3 units.
Oh no, 180 points. Is that a big one or is that 2?
One big one, yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
3 units of Chaos Spawn, 3 Plague Burst Crawls with the Spitters, 3 War Dog Carnivores, what will be proud of you. And then a Death Guard round to shovel around the 10 guys. So, initial reactions to this list would be that I like... This is a lot of pressure here at the bottom.
It's very pressury, yeah.
Triple Carnivore, triple Plague Burst Crawler. Now, the question I have, though, for this one is... And it's kind of going back to what Dave said before. War Dogs still have to walk around walls. Rampagers don't. But at the same time, I think in this list, the Carnivores are a proper shout. I think potentially Thingies go better with... Rampager goes better with like Mortarion, because you've got the 2 toughness 12 profiles there. But I do like the pressure list. Would I swap out some of those Plague Spitters for Entropy Cannons, is the question. Again, we talk about the whole Turn 1 respect thing. Do we swap them out? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think you're. I think you could be right there. This list has got a lot of. So if we've got 1 10-man and 1 Rhino, so we've got cultists and dash around. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah. You're gonna. This list to me looks like kind of needs to. This does need to be aggressive. Turn 1. And try and get into position on the board, then dropping all the Terminators in after the Carnivores have moved up, and you're going to have to choose a flank to support the where the Rhino's going to go. I like the Chaos Spawn. One of those one of the Plague Best Crawlers is going to have to sit on your home.
Yeah. Well, he's got some cultists. He's got some cultists that could do it.
Yeah, I'd still want. I'd want them for the scout move.
Yes,
turn 1, like
agree.
to get onto points, get something infected early, or to do your favourite, ball blight kind of situation. Ignore some cover.
It's not as good.
I know. So. Yeah, I think I would keep one of them with spitters. The other ones you could swap out for entropies. And I think you just have to play. I personally think with this list, you're just going to play fast turn one and try and get up the board.
I do like the triple PBC triple carnivore because that is a lot of things
Good
coming
combo.
here. I do think you have to play this quite aggressively.
Yeah.
And like I said, 14-inch move, free roll to charge is really nice. Um, so my question would be, because the triple, do we go triple chaos spawn, triple chaos spawn? I played a unit of chaos spawn. I was surprisingly happy with them, how they did. I wish they were a little cheaper. I wish they were like 60 points, but they are surprisingly good. The 8-inch move is actually quite big. They can still do actions, which is important. They
Yeah.
are beasts, so they can move through ruins, which is nicely.
Heal.
Yes, they actually can hit kind of hard, and
Yeah, they do.
I've also found out that they actually survive little tradey units quite well. I had 5 jump pack intercessors charge into them
Right.
and didn't kill them, and then they healed up, and then don't remember the chaos spawns like 3 turns to kill them back, but in the end of it, I had 2 full health chaos spawns and they were all dead, which is kind of interesting to see. So I think there's definitely like they are not bad. I wish they were a little cheaper, but they're not bad. I don't think they don't set up to like obviously Blood Angel jumping intercessors, but majority of
No.
stuff in the game that might just want like 3-inch deep strike and try and steal the objective off you, they're not bad against. The only issue for them holding home is again like they're only one OC each, so you do want to have something like maybe cultists or poxwalkers at home. So maybe I'd drop one of those spawn for a poxwalker unit just to hold home, so that way you can still use your cultists aggressively, and you've still got 2 units of chaos spawn to be going out and doing stuff. And you've got a spare 20 points that you can go and put the Deadly Pathogen in your Lord of Contagion and make him slap super hard.
Yeah, I mean, if that you've got the difference, it's super obvious, right? But the between the carnivore and the brigand is the brigands can sit back and shoot stuff with range, and they can hang out in the backfield a bit. Having 3 carnivores hanging out in your backfield doesn't do anybody any good. Like you have to get them into the game early. So if you're going to play this list, like we're saying, you've got to be aggressive with it. Don't sit around in turn 2 thinking, all right, now I'm going to start positioning stuff to do it, because like Aiden said, the carnivores can't go through buildings. You're going to have to swing them around corners, and by the time you get to turn 2, especially if you've gone second, your opponents, if they've got gun lines or things like that, they're going to be out and ready to start shooting.
Yeah, so I think definitely pressure is the name of the game. I think you pick one of your opponent's objectives and you say mine, and you just go for it. And I'm not sure if you send the 10-man Plague Marines with it, or if they're just used to hold your kind of safe one.
Yeah.
Because you do need to hold it with something. 10-man Plague Marines for fights first are very good at it. Because my worry about this would be you whole hog one side and then they just engage the other side, and then all you end up doing is trading sides.
Yeah, and you're going to need to use the other 2 plague best crawlers probably for banning out across your deployment zone to stop yourself getting dropped in on and like your opponent scoring. So you probably are going to need entropy cannons on the others to give yourself a bit of anti-tank on range, or if they're going to end up all sat in your deployment zone, you might putting spits on them might not be such a bad idea.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be so upset about trying to maybe get a bloat drone in for something here. But I would love to see how it goes, because triple carnivore is a lot of pressure, and I would love to hear how this goes, no Sneck, because I do want to see how this plays out. It's interesting to see, because 3 Plagueis Crawlers and 3 Carnivores coming in is a lot to deal with, like especially if you get first turn. It's a lot of them to deal with. The question is, can that buy enough time and put your opponent behind far enough, especially with secret missions in the game now as well. So we need to see how that pans out. So give this a whirl. The only change I would recommend would be the Chaos Spawn. Like I said, I'd probably drop 1 Chaos Spawn, put in Poxwalkers just because they spread out, they hold home a bit better.
Yep.
They can just take up more space, and then slap in the slap on Deadly Pathogen just to make that location extra slappy. I think it's going to be pretty aggressive. Yeah, I think it is definitely. But yeah, I do like it. So let us know how that one goes on, mate. It's good. That's the only change I think I'd make there for that one, and test it, see how it goes. But I actually was surprised by Chaos Spawn. They're actually much better than I thought. Again, maybe 10 points too expensive, but they are pretty good. But what we'll do then, so we'll probably call this one here for now. Thank you so much to everyone that has come into the chat. So very quickly, El Troll, basically it's super heavy walkers in knights can walk through walls. The big knights have that rule, the little knights don't. So that's the only reason that it's different. The big knights can walk through walls, they take a battle shock test. They fail a battle shock on a 1 if they roll dice, but going forward, that they can walk through, whereas the other ones can't. So we're going to wrap up tonight here. I will try and get another one on Sunday then, because I apparently have been told that we have a shit ton. Oh, good lord.
Yeah, do you see what I mean?
Oh, lordy.
I had a quick scroll down.
Yeah, you guys have been busy. So yeah, I will make sure to try my best to get another stream up, because there's a lot of stuff there, which you guys, I'm sure, want us to get through, and I do want to try and get through them, because that is the whole purpose of it. So for those who do become a member tonight, do not worry, we will get straight back onto it then on the Sunday. And we massively appreciate for all the support. So it's been really cool to have you all here. A lot of good views in chat as well, a lot of good engagement from the chat as well. And before you go, do leave a like if you've not already clicked that button. It really does help out.
Do like and comment. We'll
what's the comment I want everyone to leave once this goes off live and becomes a video? I want you to all to come back to the video to give it another view, and then you can leave a comment called "Plague Surgeon did nothing wrong." There you go. So we'll go with that. But
Snack, you're gonna make War Dog Will very happy.
Yeah, you definitely are.
He'll like saying triple carnivore. That's definitely
he'll definitely chat. Falcon Eddie, thank you so much for the compliment, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here as well. So yeah, we'll leave it there. So from myself, I'll have an event recap up over the weekend as well. So I'm gonna be a busy bunny. Dave will see if he can make Sunday to join me for another.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be playing I'm playing a local club, kind of not a crusade, but it's a faction campaign kind of leaderboardy thing that's going on. So I'm playing Necrons, I think, tomorrow, and I'm going to be playing a Rampager in that list for a bit of fun. I'll let you know how it goes.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, for now, everyone, take care, and we will see you all soon. Stay rotten from myself.
Stay rotten, guys.
And very quickly, just obviously quick shout outs to our sponsors.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. If you are interested in getting yourself any gaming aids for the game that are branded with disgusting resilient logos and whatnot, do check out the Etsy store link. It's not on the stream link, so just go to any other video of ours recently. They're all in the description of any of those videos. Etsy store link to Saltire Games. They make like custom sets of in-game aids that have our logos and whatnot on. Use promo code nurgle, you get 10% off your order, and you give us a kickback. If you want to learn how to play the game, where can you learn to play the game, Dave?
You can learn to play the game with our friends at Vanguard Tactics, who have got an academy which will be opening up relatively soon. They're taking pre-registrations on that. They have got just an amazing wealth of free battle report content, and you can get one-to-one coaching, and they've got masterclasses which you can group into. So check out Vanguard Tactics. We both play for them. Aidan is the Death Guard coach, so just go check these guys out. Lots of great content.
And last but not least, on the new front, again, if you were considering buying any models in the UK and you wish to place an order with Element Games, do check out our videos, because we do have affiliate links in there. If you use the affiliate link, you get some gems, we get some gems, everyone's happy and everybody wins. So if you were considering picking up that next box of Blight Terminators you were definitely going to buy, then consider using that link. For now, for real this time, stay rotten, guys, from myself and Death Guard Dave.